Welcome to the Home Enthusiast podcast. I'm Remy from Remy's Real Estate. Michelle, thank you for joining. So Michelle is an interior design. She's got her own company, which is called Tone and Texture Interior Design, correct?
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me today.
No worries.
Turn your house into a home and join us on the Home Enthusiast podcast.
How long have you had your company for now?
So I'm in my third year.
Yeah, awesome.
now.
You've seen a lot then?
I have. I've seen a bit, yeah.
Excellent. So just wanted to ask you a few questions for anyone listening to us who could be interested, in designing the interior design of their home, building a new home, or really, reinventing it. So can you walk us through the design process, from first inquiry until when it's finished?
Absolutely. So the first thing that I like to do is have a clarity call with any client. So basically that is just to understand the project, what the client's asking for, and to see if I can actually help them, because it might just be that I point them in a direction and they go off in that other direction. So the clarity call is very important.
Yeah.
And after that, if they're wanting to get me out for an in-home consultation, I come out for one of those.
Yep.
And that gives me enough information that I can prepare a proposal and scope of works for the client.
Yeah, cool.
And then from there, it's into the designs, presentation and installation.
And how long can a process take? Can it be really short, or is it usually a few months, a few weeks?
Usually with lead times for furniture, it can be a while. I've got a client that has been going on for a year because often clients will add things on as well. So you might end up just starting with a couple rooms, and then by the end of it, you're doing the whole house. So you kind of get to know the clients quite a bit.
You get addicted to making it better, I guess.
Yeah.
I can see how that can happen. How do you determine best color schemes for a room? And I'm talking living, bedrooms, but mostly, I guess the most important part is probably living spaces.
I guess the colour scheme really comes down to the individual client.
Yeah.
So when I'm designing a room, it's not with my taste, it's with the client's taste. So it's really important to understand what are the colours that they like.
Yeah.
If you don't really know what colours you want to put in your house, look at your wardrobe. What you're wearing is generally the colours that you like. So
cool.
you can apply your wardrobe colours to your living space.
I can see some pink walls already.
Yeah. You like pink or?
No, I don't, but I can tell you I've walked into some wardrobe, it's like pink madness. So I'm kind of happy they don't put that all over the living room.
Yeah.
Because that could be quite interesting. But okay, that's really cool. So maybe you're saying that clothing quite artistic, like all that stuff will obviously have quite bright colours in the living spaces, something like that?
Generally, you do wear the colours that you're more drawn to and that you do like. So you might be wearing these colours without even knowing that they're your favourite colours. But you can definitely use some inspiration from that if you're struggling. Otherwise, definitely get onto Pinterest and kind of pull together some pictures of things that you like.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a room, if you're trying to get inspiration, if you're wanting to decorate yourself, try and get maybe 20 to 30 pins for a room, and that's when you're really going to see the repetitions between what you're pinning and actually identify what you do like.
That's amazing. I never thought about the connection between what you wear and the colours they're using in your home. That's amazing. How do you choose materials for furniture and accessories? Does it come down to the taste, or obviously again?
It does come down to what people like. So in terms of picking a fabric or a leather sofa, it's going to come down to personal preference.
Yeah.
People can find leather to be quite hot and sticky, and other people, don't like the feel of fabric because they don't like to clean it. They like leather. So it can be a little bit of personal preference. But you can also look at the other materials that are in the room, like what is the flooring? Is there carpet in there already, or is it timber or tiles? So you really want to kind of have a balance of different finishes in the room.
Yeah.
So if you do have a lot of like a polished concrete, really shiny surfaces, you're not going to want to put a lot of like leather and gloss finishes in there. You're going to want a mixture.
And you're able to give that advice as well. Do you give advice on how hard is it to maintain a leather couch versus texture, or you don't get into the details, or you do?
A little bit of detail in terms of the care instructions for particular items. If I'm specifying them, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's important for people to understand what is required to keep those items clean.
Yeah.
And it also comes down to their lifestyle. I will have to understand,
Kids maybe they can ruin a sofa. I can see that happening.
What age
with
are their
mine.
kids? How many do they have? All that sort of thing comes into it when designing and picking furniture for them.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. No, that's cool. Talking about shopping for furniture, obviously different budgets, different shops. What would be your, on top of your head, your favorite shop for someone who's got quite a conservative budget in terms of furniture compared to someone that's got a quite high budget for furniture?
For more of a conservative budget, I would say you would need to stick around some of the retailers like Freedom, that sort of price point. Anything below that, if you're buying furniture from Kmart or anything, it's really not going to be good quality. So you're going to be replacing that furniture more often. Definitely try and invest in pieces that you're not going to have to replace. So somewhere like Freedom, that would kind of be the lower budget. And then if you had a bit of a higher budget, it would be nice to go to places more like Globe West, Satara, Coco Republic, where you're going to get a lifetime sort of experience.
Yeah, really. Okay, so of course you get what you pay for.
You do.
And if you don't want to replace, it's all good to buy a $5,000 couch, but if it only lasts 2 years and you're going to replace it again, okay, I understand. And I'm sure all the shops have got payments options as well. For couches and stuff, furniture, I've seen it, right?
Yeah, at more, I guess, the sort of middle budget and lower budget, they do offer those payment plans where you kind of have a zero interest rate. Yeah, so you can buy furniture that way.
Cool. I guess this is a very tough question for an interior designer, probably a very important one. How do you balance functionality and aesthetics when you design a property? Because obviously people might want something that looks really good, but it absolutely does not work with the space they've got. So how do you manage that?
Above all, functionality has to come first. So you really worry about the aesthetics after you get the function down pat. So you want to focus on how the room is meant to flow. So you're looking at sizes of furniture, all the materials. So is it going to be leather because there's 5 kids in the house? So you really have to get the flow and the function right, and then you can look at the aesthetics based on the requirements of the sizes and the pieces that you need.
Yeah, okay. And that's valid for living areas, bedrooms, obviously everything.
Yeah.
Of course. In terms of fees, how does it work to engage you, to whether it's for a brand new house or to really completely change? How does it work? Is it, do you charge a fee up front to look at something and then go from there and it's all packaged up? Do they pay at the end? Do they pay, how does it all work?
So the way that I work is I do a paid consultation. So that's in the client's home and it allows up to 90 minutes with them. And that's when we really deep dive into the client, what their requirements are, how they do live and work in the home as well. And it's really after that, and that's $275, including GST. And then when I prepare the proposal, I will have enough information that I can give a fixed fee. The scope of works is very detailed, so it lists out every single item that I'll be sourcing for the client.
That's amazing.
Just
Where
so
are you
it's really
sourcing
clear.
from and stuff?
Not necessarily the stores at that point, because I won't have the design done by then. But definitely the budget is included in that. So there's a bit of a return brief on the job, so that I'm really putting down, this is my interpretation of the job, this is what you need, and this is the budget that I will be working with. So it's a fixed fee from there. And when the client does proceed with that, then the $275 comes off. So the consult is only payable if it's just a one-off consult. Sometimes clients like to get me in and they're building a house, for example, and they've got a whole heap of selections. They've got timber options, tile options, and they just want someone to kind of pick the final selection.
Shows the direction.
So sometimes it's just the one-off consult. And that's.
But if it goes into a contract, then it's obviously absorbed. That's really cool. Artwork. So I've seen some pretty crazy artwork in a lot of homes, and like you say, it's almost now I see wardrobe and it matches with the artwork that I see and stuff. So if someone tells you, okay, I love paintings, I love all that stuff on the walls, how do you handle that? Where do you recommend them to have it, all that stuff?
So artwork is really personal. like you said, you see the connection between someone's wardrobe and their artwork. So it's not only the colors, but it's the subject as well.
Yeah.
It's
beach or mountain or all that
yeah,
stuff.
it could be, or it could be abstract. It might not have a subject in there at all. So there are a lot of different formats as well. There's photography, which is quite flat, and then you've got like original artwork that can have a lot of texture,
Yeah.
and you can literally feel the brush strokes. So
Yeah.
it's important to have a mix so that it's not just the whole one medium throughout, and you've got different finishes. So it is important to kind of play around with different subjects so that it's not just all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
And there's a few of my favourite art places as well that I can share.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so if you're looking for some original artwork, you can have a look at local galleries. They're a great place to have a look. But if you're visiting a different place, maybe going on a little holiday and seeing a little town, you might come across something there.
Yeah.
So as well as local galleries, or if you're on holiday having a look at what's there, there's some great options online as well. There's 2 great online stores that I use a lot, which there's Art Lovers Australia and Blue Thumb.
Okay, cool.
So basically it is like independent artists. They might be upcoming artists or they might be established.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just a place for them to sell. So the website just works as a bit of an agent in selling the artwork.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But you can find some really
There's some
unique,
little gems in there
absolutely.
for all budgets as well.
For all budgets, you can find original artwork under $500.
Yeah, all right.
And you can also find things that are more like $15,000 on there. So
I'm sure you can find
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the tip. And a question, obviously for yourself, though, you have to keep on trends, right? But also for anyone watching, how do they keep up on trends? Like, trends come and go every year or two or whatever. What's the best website, or where do you get your inspiration from to keep up to date?
the best advice I would give when it comes to trends is to not spend too much money on them, because you mentioned that they do come in and out of fashion. So you really want to make sure your staple pieces.
But they come back as well.
They come
10 years later, they might come back.
in a different way, though. They will always have some changes to them. But you're right, they are. It's like fashion, it's a cycle, so it does come back around.
Yeah.
But I would suggest not investing in the large pieces to be trend pieces. Pick the smaller pieces. It might be more affordable artwork, decor items, smaller furniture items like a side table, a lamp, little things like that you can easily change when the trend goes out and a new trend comes in that you want to bring into your home.
Cool. Michelle, thank you so much for coming. Really helpful, all your questions. And I'm sure if anyone's got any questions, they'll be able to contact you anytime.
Amazing.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much
Cheers.
for having me.
Thank you.